Right, Coach, Broncos are coming off a tough loss in Mississippi State, wrapping up non-conference play. Just MAC games going forward, including a very good Miami team this weekend. Just give us your thoughts on the weekend and progressing forward to this Saturday.
I told our guys after the game in the locker room, post-game, right after, and even after watching the tape this week, extremely proud of the fight, resolve, the grit, and competitive spirit that our guys played with. They battled for 4 quarters, really went into a hostile environment and competed extremely hard, played for 60 minutes, battled back from being down 17 to start the game, some injuries, and all the circumstances to respond and find a way to get ourselves, back in the football game and make it a competitive game. Extremely proud of that, and I wanted them to know that. Our coaches did a great job putting together a really good game plan against a really good football team that was physical, talented, and our guys never flinched. They never backed down. On the flip side of that, we made too many mistakes and critical errors at critical times. Continue to have undisciplined errors in critical times of the football game, and we know that those things ultimately cost you and wind up costing you chances to win the football game, which they understand, and they were extremely upset by that and how they played. And so I'm proud of how we've grown each and every week. We've gotten a little bit better. The best teams that I've been on continue to get better each and every week, and that's what they've done. They've shown up to do that every single week, and I know that they will do that again this week. Excited to be at home this week, back home for a special weekend, homecoming. Got a bunch of great events this weekend. We're honoring the '88 MAC Championship team 35th anniversary, so we'll be excited to see those guys. And then 2 of our own will be inducted to the Hall of Fame, Sean Mulhern and Bill Brown. Both of those made a huge impact and have laid the foundation for our guys and what we want to be and what we want to build here. Transition into Miami. Miami is an excellent football team. They're 5-1. They've won 5 straight. They're 2-0 in the conference, and they are playing really good football. They are a smart, sound, disciplined football team, really well coached, and we've got our work cut out for us this week. They're really good on each side of the football, and in the MAC games they've only given up 3 points. I think they're second in the conference in points scored, and then on defense they're second in the conference in points given up. So will be a great test for our football team, one I know that they're excited about and will rise to the challenge.
All right, take questions.
Coach, the non-conference slate you guys had, 3 Power Fives especially, just sort of seeing the growth from game to game, from Syracuse to Iowa to Mississippi State. What did you see that was, again, just so encouraging for you and your staff of how these guys really showed some quick development over just a matter of weeks?
They have improved each and every week, and if you watch from game to game, we're finding ways to get better, which we've challenged them with. And the best teams that I've been on find ways to get better even during the season, whether you win or you lose. You show up, you do the work, you put in the work, and find ways that you can improve. And so we have improved in a lot of areas, whether it's chemistry, the ability to score points, whether it's, run game, pass game, on defense, takeaways, sacks, all of those things have been really good, but there's still, a lot of things to clean up, which is exciting as well. We have a lot of, positive things to build on, but still enough to clean up that it will keep us busy.
The chemistry is developing, the comfort of guys just, again, being in the systems now. You're about halfway through the year. And what have you guys just really seen of that comfort and that confidence that comes with it of how they're now putting out there what you guys want them to do, what you guys are coaching them up to do?
Yeah, I tell our guys almost every day, confidence comes from preparation. And when we have played well and because we have improved, it's because of our preparation during the week, and they continue to show up that way each and every week. Listen, the one thing that I know about this group of young men, they're fighters, and they want to do everything that we're asking them to do. And so we always play hard. We always play with great effort. We don't always play discipline. And so we have to clean up some of the discipline aspects, whether it's self-inflicted wounds with penalties and turnovers. So those things have got to continue to improve, and they're working on those things each and every day. But it doesn't always show up as quick as you want to. And so we're developing new habits and better habits. The chemistry part of it is really just time. It's relationships. It's when you look at our football team, I mean, new staff, new systems, a lot of new players, new starters, a lot of new pieces and moving pieces as you're trying to compete against really good football teams. And so they're trying to figure it out as they're playing competitive games that count. And so we've made some mistakes, but they're growing each and every week after those mistakes. And, you know, the one thing that I'll say is when we make a point of emphasis during the week, they really take that to heart and have owned that each and every week.
What can you say about Womac's play? Last couple of weeks, it seems like he's really just kind of stepped into his own in your offense, and just what you've seen from him overall.
Kenny Womack had a big game, career high in receptions and yards. He had 12 receptions and 100 and something yards. I thought he played big in the big moments in that game. That's the Kenny Womack that I've been waiting to come out. That's the one that I saw during training camp that made a ton of plays for us, was confident, was hard to cover, made every catch, and great run after the catch. And that's what you started to see at Starkville. And I think that'll be a great game for him to continue to build, to have some confidence now and move forward and continue to be an impact player for us. He's a great young man, and he works hard every single day. And really, it wasn't anything that he had necessarily done or hadn't done up until this point. Sometimes the ball just doesn't find you early in the season for whatever reason. Defense dictates that a lot, and the ball just hadn't found him a ton. But he did a really nice job with his opportunities. He helped us get back in the football game. And a lot of guys stepped up in this game. We had a lot of injuries on both sides of the football. And so for us to be able to have a next man up mentality and those guys be ready and compete against an SEC team, there are positives that you take away from that.
Seeing a Bronco get 2 interceptions last night, Monday night, honoring the '88 team in your first year with the program, what's it been like to honor the history of the team and get adjusted to the history of the Broncos?
Well, I knew full well the history of this program, it's a rich tradition, and that was one of the things that excited me about this job and why I wanted this job, because of players and great teams, just like the '88 team that we're honoring this weekend, just like about all the history of NFL players and great players who've come through here. We want to do a great job every single day making sure that we make those guys proud by how we play. Those guys have laid the foundation, and we know that, Bronco Nation, wherever we are, no matter whether we're home or away, they support us, and whether we win or lose, we want to make them proud. We want to win, obviously, but I think we did that on Saturday just in the way that our guys competed. I had so many calls and texts saying, "Coach, I know you're not happy with the result, but the guys fought and battled, and they made us proud." And so I appreciated people reaching out and saying that. But there are no moral victories.
Coming into now full MAC conference stretch, what is unique about getting into the week in, week out grind that is playing strictly in the conference now?
There's so much parity and competition in the league. You see it week in and week out. Each and every week, there are really good football teams, and it's competitive games, and it stays competitive until the end of November. And so that's exciting now that we're into full MACtion, schedule, all MAC play. So our guys are excited about that, and we're 1-1 in the conference right now. Firmly, we're in a position to go win some games and see where we can end up in this race. But this is a great league. I mean, you saw Bowling Green last week. They beat Georgia Tech. They scored 38 unanswered points to beat Georgia Tech at Georgia Tech's place, and then come back this week and Miami gets after them pretty good. So it's a week-to-week league, and that's what we used to say. Older coaches would say in the NFL, it's a week-to-week league, and if you don't bring it every single week, you'll be on the wrong side.
Coach, you had a couple of breakout performances. What did you think of C.J. Hester's game at Mississippi State this past week?
C.J. Hester had a really big game for us in some big moments, some critical downs. I thought he ran hard. He ran through contact. He blocked well in pass pro. One of the clips that I showed the team on Sunday as we reviewed the tape was him in pass pro. He did an excellent job stepping up, blocking the Mike linebacker as he was running on a cross-dog blitz. And for, a freshman who hasn't played very much and against a bigger linebacker, he did an excellent job. He never flinched. He will continue to get better, so I'm excited about his trajectory. And there were so many guys that stepped up in this game. Kenny Womack, Hayden Wolf on defense. We didn't have Marshawn except for third down, except for limited plays, and had some other injuries, at tackle during the game. And so multiple guys stepped up and were ready for their opportunity. And so I was excited.
When you look back at Hayden's performance, what did you think, and how do you see him moving forward?
Hayden played really, really well. He came in, moved the offense right down the field, was in a tough situation. He comes in and midway through the second quarter, and we're down 17 points in a hostile environment against a really good defense. And he prepares the same way every single day. He prepares like a pro. He spends so much time in the building watching tape, taking care of his body, making sure. And so he is prepared every single week, every single day, like he's the starter. And he's a great example of a guy who was ready for his opportunity and maximized it. I thought he really gave us an opportunity to be back in that football game down the stretch, and so was really proud of how he played.
And Marshawn got in there. I was kind of surprised to see him out there, but is he progressing and getting more back to where he was?
Marshawn played really well. He was in a limited role. He was day-to-day leading up to the game, and late they cleared him to be able to play in a limited capacity and kind of gave us a pitch count for him. And so we used him to that. I think in 16 defensive snaps, I think he had 4.5, 5 tackles, so he was extremely productive when he was there. He was playing, like his hair was on fire. He was trying to make the most out of every single opportunity. He got it banged up a little bit again in the game, but I think he'll be okay. Again, it'll be day to day, as will several of our guys that went out in that game. We'll see how it progresses during the week.
There weren't any season-ending kind of things, were there?
As of right now, no.
And then when you look at Miami, what do you think of Gabbert, their quarterback?
He is a really good football player. He's played in a ton of football games, and I tell you, he is so smart. He's so good with the football. He reads defenses and coverages really well. And the thing that I love most about what he does is he just takes what the defense gives you. He doesn't try to do too much or too less. He's like a point guard. He distributes to playmakers, and he's got some playmakers on the outside with speed, and at the running back position, and they're big and long up front, and athletic at the offensive line position, so they do a really nice job. And Coach Chuck Martin does an unbelievable job. Got a ton of respect for him. Great old school ball coach that and his team plays that way. They are so fundamentally sound. They're not going to try to trick you. Where they're going to line up, how they're going to line up, But they play it well. They play it extremely well, and they play extremely hard. And Gabbert, is a really good football player. There's not much that you can give him that he hasn't seen or been through. And again, he's just so efficient with what he does with the football.
What have you seen from Tate Halleck? What does he provide for you guys in the defense? I know he had a couple turnovers a couple weeks ago. What does he give you back there?
Tate has been an impact player for us. From a production standpoint and also a leadership standpoint. And I think you can't put a number or a price tag on the leadership part of it. For a guy to come in and have played games, college football games, which he had, but to come into a new atmosphere, new system, new teammates, and earned the respect that he did. He did it the right way. He didn't come in and say, I'm a leader from day one. He came in and earned the trust of his teammates, and he continues to do that every single day. He's one of our hardest workers. He cares. It's important to him. He's more mad when he makes a mistake than anybody else. And he wants to be coached hard. He wants to continue to improve, and I think he pushes the other guys around him because of how he works and how he's wired.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you, guys.